Hello, welcome back to the Dwelling Oak channel. I hope you all have had a wonderful and fantastic week. Okay, today's video is just basically a request someone placed, and someone said, oh, please can you tell us the areas that are cheap to live and affordable places where we can live in the UK and all of that. Now, of course, the UK is quite a sizable place, so I haven't been to all of these places, but based on my research and some of my questions, I'm able to come up with a list that I probably think this will be helpful for those of you, for those teachers who are trying to relocate to the UK, but you're not sure where to go, the best places to live, and all of that. So I'm going to do my best to address this question in this video, hopefully. And again, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to put that in the description box and I will answer as much as I can. And also, if you have any video requests, something that you'd like me to touch on or to address as for pertaining to teachers or pertaining to living in the UK and all of that, for teachers, okay, I'm happy to answer that and to make a video on that. Again, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share my videos. So welcome to my old-time subscribers, new subscribers, you are all welcome. So somebody asks, what are the cheap places or affordable places that you can live in the UK? Now, to the best of my knowledge and based on what I know, having lived in the UK for this long, I think the more you go towards the north, the better and cheaper and affordable it is for you to live. Now, in the UK, comparison to Africa, there is a whole lot you need to pay. There's a whole lot of financial commitment. So the one thing that you don't want to add a burden to yourself is struggling with money, okay? So it's always a good idea, and thank you to this person who raised the request for this question. It's always a good idea to know where you are going to live and to ensure that it's beneficial financially to your family or to you if you're coming as a single person. Now, as I said, up north is usually the best place to live. If you're anywhere in the south and London, these are the most expensive places to live, okay? So just be, when you're doing your teaching search for jobs, look around for these areas. So places like, I'm looking at, because I've got my notes. So you have Durham. So Durham is in Newcastle upon Tyne. This is a cheap, affordable place that you can live. Okay, now I'm going to break down what I mean by affordable. So just hang on there. I will go to that in a bit. Now you got Belfast, which is in Northern Ireland. Ireland is a place that you can also live. It's affordable to live there. The house prices for rent is also affordable. But one thing to bear in mind is when you get into Ireland, they speak English as well as Irish, okay? So just something you need to bear in mind. Now, when you're living down the south, the east, of course, it's all English. But when you go to places like Scotland, Ireland, then there is a language. Now, I have had a look. Some schools teach in English, or most schools teach in English, and they also have some lessons in Irish or Welsh, okay? So that is one thing to bear in mind if you're going to live in this area, that you also need to learn the language. Either you learn Irish or you learn Welsh. So, but that is another information for another day. But Belfast is somewhere that you can live that is cheap. Now, Lancaster is also a place that you can live that is cheap. Cardiff, again, Cardiff is in Scotland. So they speak Welsh. Majority of people speak Welsh and also English. So bear in mind, if you're going to live in these areas, that there is a language learning involved in all of this. So just bear that in mind. Now, one thing to also bear in mind is when you go to the areas like Ireland and Scotland, the accent. Okay, so they've got they're speaking English, but I sometimes struggle to and understand them because of the accent. So if you're going to live in this area, just be mindful that this is another thing, another hurdle that you need to overcome as well. So either you learn Welsh or you learn Irish, or you understand them when they speak. To be honest, I struggle. It's like I need something that I need to strain to actually listen to them to get to understand what they're saying because of the accent in these areas. But apart from that, it's a good and affordable place to live. Then you have Newcastle, okay? Newcastle is a place that I've been to several times. It's beautiful. It's a university city. It's very good for students. It's a place that you can live as a student. It's affordable. So that is another place that you can bear in mind if you're going to live in the UK. Okay, you've also got Coventry. Again, Coventry is a place that you can live with a good amount of blacks. Coventry, Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, these are areas where you have lots of blacks and you have opportunity to find African shops. So if you want to buy African things like your usual gari yam, you have more chances of finding these things there. And as well as house prices are very affordable in this area. So Birmingham, Newcastle, Manchester, Liverpool, these are okay places to live as well. Then you have Warwick, and then you have Lincoln, and then you have, I think that's about it. This is this is the list that I came up with. But my go-to place will be if you want to live somewhere in the UK where it's affordable, where you have more chances of meeting more blacks, depending if you're black. Then you have Birmingham, you have Manchester, you have Liverpool, and you have well, Manchester. So these are, for me, these are the places. Now, Norwich is another one. I lived in Norwich myself for a bit before I moved to where I am at the moment. Norwich is very affordable. So when I lived in Norwich, it was just I and my husband. Then I had my first child then. It was very affordable. We lived in a 2-bedroom house. And it was wonderful. It was spacious. It was beautiful. It was cheap. As at then, we were paying about £400 for a 2-bedroom house, and we're on 2 floors. So it was very, very, very affordable. Then when we moved down south, there is a massive difference. Now, I don't know what it is like house prices in Norwich, but this was what, odd 14, 15, 16 years ago when I was in Norwich. It was very cheap. Things are increasing, there's inflation everywhere, so as well as house prices would have increased. But in down south where I am, the house prices are ridiculous. So for a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom house, you're looking at the range of 1,002 or 1,005, some places 1,007 in a month. Now, this is the difference with house prices here in the UK, and this is the major thing that you need to, financial commitment that you need to make. So back home in Nigeria and Africa, you pay yearly. So you might decide, okay, my rent for my 4-bedroom house is 500,000. So you pay that yearly and that's done. You pay that one lump sum in a year and that's done for the rest of the year. But in the UK, they don't do lump sums for payment. They do monthly payment for rent. So this is one thing that you need to bear in mind with your teaching salary, that factoring the rent, because it is monthly. So down where we are paying within the range of 1,000 to 1,007, and this is monthly. So this comes out of your monthly pay every single month. So this is one of the key expenses that you need to factor in when you're coming into the UK. It is house rent. So that's why it's important that you go to the areas where house rent is cheap. And then, because there's a whole lot, I'm going to delve into that in a minute, there's a whole lot of stuff that you need to pay for. So house rent isn't the only thing, okay? So again, just bear in mind, Birmingham, Manchester, Warwick, Lincoln, Newcastle, Liverpool, Coventry, Cardiff, Lancaster, Belfast, and Durham. Okay, so these are some cheap and affordable places that you can live in the UK. Now, when I talk about affordable, what sort of things are you looking at? What sort of payments do you need to make monthly